Welcome back. I'm Alaina Schwartz. So in this video, how to be less distracted in work and life, this is part 2 of the two-part series. In part 1, I showed you why you have the distractions in the first place. So if you're just tuning in now, make sure you go back and you watch that in the link below. And also this video is going to show you exactly what to do about the distractions so you can finally get a handle on them and stop letting you run your business and your life. So stay tuned. I'm going to reveal the cycle that makes it so tempting to give in to those distractions in the first place. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do to stop wasting time and money and lost productivity, and how to scale your business instead without the drag on you of distractions. So let's dive in. So first I'm going to show you the cycle of what really happens with distraction, right? So first there's a piece of resistance, and the resistance is some form of discomfort. And in the last video, I talked specifically about what all those forms of resistance and discomfort are so you can discover them, what your specific ones are for yourself. Now, when we have this level of discomfort, when we feel the resistance, there's a desire to get relief from it, right? So there's a desire to get relief of ruminating or the bad feeling that we have. And what that means is we give in to the distraction, right? We have this pressure that builds up in us and it doesn't feel good, and we want to relieve the pressure, so we end up giving in. Now, what this does is it relieves tension, and because it's more rewarding, it forms a habit. Right? So I really want you to understand this, because what ends up happening is that because it forms that relief of the tension, right? As I was saying, you have all of this pressure built up. You're not feeling good. There's some feeling you're wanting to alleviate. And as a result, you give into the distraction. The distraction momentarily makes you feel better. And now you have a habit. You're creating a habit of distraction. And so the next time, it becomes easier and easier and easier to give into those distractions because that behavior has become habituated. Okay, so now that I've created all these habits of distractions, what do I do about it, right? So before I tell you that, I really want you to get the most value out of the content I put out there, because I put tons of content out there on how to work less, on how to make more, on how to slay your distractions and your time gremlins. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you can stay up to date with my content. And if this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, please. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the steps that will help you slay this distraction once and for all. The key is to look for the discomfort that precedes the trigger, right? When you start to sense that discomfort or the pull, maybe your phone is calling to you, it's whispering names to you saying, hey, pay attention to me. Ding, notification. Oh my God, what is that notification, right? Notice the discomfort that precedes the trigger, and that will help you get to the root cause and identify it. Identifying the trigger, identifying what that trigger actually is, will take away so much power from it in the first place. Awareness is power. And when you create an awareness around that trigger, you literally, like, it's trying to hide in the shadows, right? It doesn't want to be seen. And when you take that giant spotlight and you shine the light on it, it takes away so much of its power, and then it's much easier to conquer as a result. Now, here's the thing that really, really will make a huge difference of writing down that internal trigger. Now, when you write down what that internal trigger it is, don't judge yourself for it, right? Because all that judgment is doing is creating more of the discomfort that you're trying to escape from in the first place. So here we're just being the observer. We're just noticing the trigger. And in the process of noticing it again and writing it down, first of all, when you write down, as opposed to, say, typing it out, I used to have a lot of my clients do a lot of journaling on the exercises we do together, because when you write it out, you use like over 100 different synaptic connections in your brain. When you type it out, you use around 8. Right? And so the idea is more whole brain change by writing it out. So write it out without judgment. And when you write it out and you don't judge yourself and you become the observer of it, it allows you to remove it and neutralize it so much easier. When there's shame or judgment or guilt around it, much harder to eliminate it for good. Then you're going to notice the physical sensation that accompanies the trigger, right? Get really curious. It may be that, I'm having this, I don't know, discomfort or pressure in my chest. That might be the physical sensation. It might be some other physical sensation that you would label as a feeling. Just really get curious. The more curious that you can be around, again, without judgment, right? This is curiosity without judgment. You're just diving into it a little deeper to understand it more. For example, if a friend came to you and that friend was having an issue, would you like judge it? Would you question it? You might question it in a good way, but would you question it in a really negative way? Would you think like, why are they doing that? What's wrong with them? Right? So you want to approach yourself with the same love and kindness that you would give your BFF in this kind of situation, which is without judgment. So just get curious without judgment. Now, if you still want to do it, then wait 10 minutes, right? In the beginning, that 10 minutes may feel excruciating for you because you still want to do it, but what you're doing is you're just creating some spaciousness before relieving the tension there, right? So the more spaciousness you can create for relieving the tension, eventually you will find that you don't actually need to do it. Now here's a really big tip. One of the things that I help my clients do is tune into their higher selves, this infinite all-knowing part of us, right? The infinite all-knowing part of us already knows why we're doing it. It already knows what the trigger is. It can give us that information, and it can give us the truth about it. So when you have that sensation that comes up and you want to do something, then tuning in and getting the truth of it, eventually, and it may take a few weeks to do it, it may even take a month, but how long have you been doing this in the first place, right? How many years have you been doing this particular behavior? So it may take a little bit of time and it may be immediate. But whatever it is, when you actually are able to tune in to your higher self and bring in the truth to your subconscious mind, it lessens and lessens and lessens and lessens and lessens the discomfort. So it makes it easier and easier and easier to ride that wave, right? You want to ride that 10-minute wave and see what happens in that 10 minutes. And again, just notice what's going on for you. Notice the pull. Right? One of my only vices in my life is sweet things. And I rarely eat sugar, but I'll eat things sweetened with maple syrup and chocolate sweetened with stevia, but they're still sweet. I still crave them. And so I have to do this myself for those very things. And even if I decide I'm going to end up eating the thing after those 10 minutes, the more that I can create a gap between the discomfort and desire, because it's not a true desire. The desire is being driven from that discomfort, from that internal trigger. And the more that I can create space between that, the easier it is for me to say no to it. And for me to say no time and time again when that trigger comes up of like, oh, after lunch, this would be the time I would have that sweet. Okay, now I'm craving that sweet. And it's like, yeah, I don't really need that. Or let me just wait 10 minutes and see if I'm really going to eat it. And I get to ride that wave so much easier so it doesn't actually feel like an emotional roller coaster. It feels like a smooth wave coming in instead. Okay, now my last tip is to make something that you feel like you have to do fun to do so it feels effortless to do it. Now, the first part of that, as I said, something that you feel like you have to do. First thing, I recommend changing your language around it. So you're moving your language from have to do something to choosing to do it. Because everything in your life that you are doing, you're actually choosing to do. You don't have to do it. You might say, well, okay, Alaina, but then there's going to be serious consequences from it. Right? But you don't have to do it. You are choosing to do it. You are choosing to avoid the consequences by doing it instead. And it's very empowering to change the language from choosing to do it. And it will also be easier to find it more fun when you're choosing to do it rather than it feeling like drudgery, that's something that you have to do. So the key to taking empowerment back of your life is to shift your language about what you're doing, or I'd say one of the keys is to shift your language around what you're doing so that you're choosing to do it and then make it fun. And if you can find a way to gamify it. I love doing this with my clients. I gamify so many of the things that they're doing. Like they're trying to give up a habit. And I've done this so many times. I find it so, the ego mind is so amusing to me that you have to be amused by it. And so what happens is I go, okay, this is the thing that I want to stop doing. I'll give you a perfect example. I was dating this guy once, and he said to me, my son was much younger at the time, and he said, you have this tendency of correcting. Like if I say something wrong, you tend to correct it. And he's like, I'm not sure if it's because you're a mom and you do that, or it's just a habit. And I thought, what is the root of that? Oh, my mom does that. So I picked it up from my mom thinking that makes me smart by doing that as a result of doing that. So I decided I was going to conquer this. I was going to get rid of that habit for good. And so I really wanted to become conscious. So I set the intention to make this fun for myself and set the intention that I was going to conquer this habit. And then I'd start to notice it come out of my mouth. And I would hear me saying it. And after I said it, I'd crack myself up laughing, going, oh my God, I did it. I said that thing. Isn't that funny? And of course, it was so amusing to him because I found it so fun that I was doing this. And within less than a week, I would start to feel it come out of my mouth. And I would stop it midstream. And then by the end of 2 weeks, I could feel the thought and stop the thought and go, like, that's it. I'm done doing that. I don't need to do that again, but I gamified it. I made it fun for me to do. And in the process of doing it, I was able to completely shift that habit in 2 weeks. And I made it amusing for everyone else who was watching me do it too, because I was just having fun observing my behavior rather than taking myself so seriously. So if you want to collapse time and get even deeper into these distractions, work less, and make more money, then I am inviting you to go below and grab the link for my free mini course on 5 ways to shave 20 to 30 hours off of your work week while making more money. Because in it, I reveal, like I've got to tell you, some of my clients pay me upwards of 50 grand for these strategies, and I've given you a condensed version in this mini course. So make sure you go grab that mini course now. Thanks, I'm Alaina, and I'll see you in the next video.